Hey guys, this is Captain Daniel Kim. In today's video, I'm going to talk about the 5 myths or misconceptions when it comes to online dating. Number one, cold approach or approaching girls face to face versus online dating is two different things. They don't coincide, they're not synergistic, blah, blah, blah. They're two different things, right? So back in the day, the only way to meet women was straight up go approach a girl. You see a girl on the street or at a bar or a club, and you go cold approach her, right? And in a way, if you had the skills, you would actually improve your numbers game, which means the efficiency was better, where you would get more girls to message you back or like you, blah, blah, blah. But in a weird way, it was a numbers game, right? You try to approach as many girls as possible and you'll find the girls who are interested in you. And yes, it's in person. So in a way, you get to see if the girl's pretty in person or not. And she'll also see if you're handsome or not, or she likes your vibe, right? So online dating in a way is you're doing the same thing. So it's actually the same thing, and I'll tell you how they're synergistic. So online dating, when it comes to that, it's the same thing except that you're approaching each other online. So in a way, your pictures are approaching each other, and you swipe right or you swipe left. So in Bumble, the girl messaged you first, or on Tinder and all these other dating apps, you guys both swipe right and you guys match and whatever. So there's more, I would say, in cold approach, right? Here's the pros and cons of both, right? So the pros of cold approach is that you get to meet the girl in person and you know she won't catfish you, you know how she looks like, blah, blah, blah. So that's the pro, but you know what's the con of cold approach is that when you approach her on the street, what if, yeah, she might not be catfish, but she doesn't like your vibe? What if you don't look good that day? What if you're sweaty? What if you're not looking good and you're not feeling the vibe? You're not feeling confident and she doesn't like the way you look. So now that's a negative turn on you where you're not best foot forward and you approach a girl when she's might be in her best kind of self where she looks the best, but you are not looking the best. Maybe you gained a little weight or you had acne come out that day or you just didn't get the best haircut or you're looking not your best. Then you might be not the girl that might not be the guy that she wants to see in that moment. So you'll get rejected. Online dating, what I think the pro for online dating is kind of fixes that, right? Online dating, where what it does is you always have your best picture forward. Yes, you're right. The girls also have their best pictures forward, and sometimes we find out they gained a little weight or whatever, blah, blah. But here's the thing, right? There's ways to mitigate that, and to say that like I want to approach I want to approach women on the street face to face. You're like, that's why I won't get catfish. But here's the thing, you might be not good enough for them face to face because first impression means everything. And if you're not working on your body language and your cold approach skills and you're not the best at it and you're not on your best level, why lose a chance with a beautiful girl when you also could find her online? I'm saying do both, right? And this is how they work well together. So online dating, everyone thinks it's just dating apps. No. Here's one thing for a fact, and you could like research this. Okay, research it. But I bet you over 50%, maybe even over 80, 90% of most beautiful women in the world has a social media app called Instagram. And Instagram is now a dating business card and actually is another online dating marketing platform. There are people all over the world that actually meet each other through Instagram. They slide in DMs. Some dating apps that are high quality, only for high quality women and men, called Raya, you actually need a good Instagram, right? Where you only meet the best. So if you want to meet the most beautiful women, they're actually rare to actually find them in the street, and that's why some online dating apps they actually screen you out with your Instagram, and that's how you get on these apps like Raya, where they're high quality women. But let me tell you how they're synergized, right? So cold approach and online dating is not separate; they're actually together because Instagram is part of online dating. So for example, when you do cold approach, right? Here's a good example. When you approach her, and let's say she's in a rush, you approach her and she's like, "Oh, I gotta go, go. Oh, just give me your Instagram and I'll message you." So let's say you do give her her Instagram, and smartly she actually memorizes it, or you have good enough name for her to memorize it, and then she actually looks at your Instagram, and your Instagram is poop. It is so bad. It's literally iPhone pictures. It's like pictures with you and your grandma and just like low, high quality pictures. Like the first impression in the subway where she was like seeing you was good, but your Instagram sucks, then she's not going to message you back. Now though, it's very rare. Like it's rare to give out. There's so many weirdos out there that it's like rare for people to give out phone numbers anyway. So most likely they're gonna give out their Instagram. But if your Instagram is crap, which is part of online dating, it is online, and a lot of people use Instagram for dating, so it's part of online dating. If your Instagram is bad, you're not gonna also get the girl. And I'll tell you a quick story of how important it is to use online dating with cold approach. Right? So I remember my friend actually saw a beautiful girl and he just ran towards her first, right? And it was, in this thing called the game, whoever approaches first gets the number. So he approached her first and he did get her Instagram. And he followed her, but she didn't follow him back. And he's like, "Yeah, she'll probably follow." And I said, "Wow, she's really cute, bro. I saw her Instagram." I was like, Are you cool if we like try and experiment?" He's like, "What? Are you cool if I kind of try to message her on Instagram? Like I do my thing about talking to her on Instagram and you do your thing and I do my thing and see like, who like it was like a competition thing. It was for fun, right?" But what happened was she never followed him back and she followed me back. And we were able to set up a date. So what I'm trying to say is my friend actually I think is physically better looking than me. He just looks better. But maybe that day he was just off. But maybe he didn't look his best. And my Instagram is obviously curated and I learned how to edit the photos. I use the best photography. So obviously my Instagram looks is the best version of me. And like so she was following me because she saw the best version of me and probably at that moment saw the worst version of him and that's why I did it. So I'm not saying I still think the social skills of getting a girl liking you through cold approach is very important, right? When it comes to dates and stuff. But you can always like because you're not gonna able to hook every set or every girl right away and she's gonna spend an hour talking to you or go on a date with you or spend all night with you, right? There's some girls who are in a rush, they're with their friends. There's a lot of things that happen. So sometimes you need to get their contact information quick because sometimes she doesn't have time to talk to you. And that's where Instagram helps. And here's the thing, a lot of women, now the modern 2024 way of dating is online, whether it's dating apps or Instagram. So if you kind of lose, I had a couple, and I'll tell you a personal story too. I had a couple girls where I did meet them on the street like 2, 3 years ago, and they kind of like we did go out and went on a date, but we never like lasted because maybe like she didn't like me anymore. But then she saw me on an app called Bumble, and then she found my Instagram and messaged me on Instagram and saw myself how much I improved and was like, "Wow, you changed a lot. You look a lot better." And she re-messaged me 2 years later, and then we were actually intimate after that, right? So what I'm saying is there's no separation between online dating and this meeting girls in person. They actually work synergistically, and it actually gives you more volume of women that you could date and more chances of meeting your dream girl. Because your dream girl, like, are you really gonna settle to just one city? Online dating helps you meet women all over the world. Because for example, let's say a girl is visiting from another state or another country and she's only staying for a week. Most likely, like, you're not going to have the highest chance of meeting her because you're only there for a short bit. So if you use online dating and she's actually swiping, you can meet her through that. Like, just keep everything open. And like I said, Instagram is like kind of like the middle of that, right? It's online dating plus cold approaching because you need Instagram for meeting girls in person to share contact info, right? And you also need online dating to like support. It's like in the middle. Instagram's in the middle. You need for both, but like keep all your options open. They are the same. Also remember meeting girls in person take up a lot of time. Like going to a club, think about how much time you're spending. You're spending 4 to 5 hours at a club. Even when you go out during the day, you're spending at least an hour, 2 hours just walking around, sometimes meeting girls. But online dating doesn't take that much time. So on the days where you feel like going out for hours, go do it. But on days you don't and you want to rest, you could just swipe on your toilet, on your bed. So they work synergistically. They're like a symbiotic relationship with guides you to help in one goal, helping you have the best fulfilling dating life you can. Okay. Number two myth or misconception is that you have to be super attractive to be on online dating. Here's a fun fact, guys. So you guys look at me and think like, oh, okay, this guy's attractive. Obviously, that's why he does well on online dating. Okay, first of all, everyone can be attractive. How do I know this? Go look at my Instagram coaching page called @DominantDatingAsian, and you'll see dominant Asian dating, and you'll see a bunch of clients who transfer themselves work with me. And here's how I do it, right? So for me, I do have to screen out the clients, right? So if you're super overweight, super obese, or super like have skin issues, whatever, like we have to work through it like medically to help you get to a better point. But most of my clients, when I meet them and they have some kind of potential to be looking good, I learn how to dress them or make their hairstyle right and make them look. It's like those extreme makeovers where you see a guy take a guy off the street and give him a haircut and stuff. Like that kind of thing is actually not that extreme. But most of my clients, they all can be more attractive in an instant. So I actually know how to make them look taller in their pictures. I also know how to make them look good in the pictures. But I don't make them look so good in pictures that it's catfish. I make them just look like the best version of themselves. And here's the secret. Where I learned this was that also obviously girls were doing this. Girls never look like their pictures, right? They always look like better in their pictures than in real life. But also in modeling, now that I model, I realized something about makeup, the power of makeup. A lot of these people, when they do modeling, they actually do a lot of preparation. It's like 1 hour, 2 hours of makeup and hair before they actually do the shoot. So in the same way, now with AI and all these like apps where you can edit photos, you kind of do that a little bit. Make yourself look like you're wearing makeup, make your hair look better, make your skin tone better. And you do this just enough where it's not catfish, but it's like the best version of yourself. And I won't swear to you, but I promise you, sometimes the clients, actually most of my clients end up looking like their pictures because they start having a belief they look like this, and they also don't want to catch the girl. So they start working out, taking care of the skin, taking care of their fashion, and they start looking like their pictures. So that's the misconception number 2, which is actually a misconception, a limiting belief that you have about yourself, that you're not good looking when you actually are. And one thing for sure is the one way to be immediately attractive is lose weight. You lose weight, you'll be immediately attractive. Even faster than that, get new clothes, get a new haircut, right? Get a facial makeover, right? That you can do it instantly. Trust me, guys, that makes you attractive right off the bat. And I know this because like I've seen it in modeling shoots where I see a girl with no makeup and all of a sudden she wears makeup and she's like beautiful, right? Even me, like I go on a photo shoot, like, whoa, I look like that this morning. It's because of makeup and also your angle, the side shots. So that's what online dating is huge on, is you can always make yourself look good in dating photos. Obviously, you're not going to look like the 1%ers, but you're going to look like the 1% of yourself, the best version of yourself. And that always helps. Okay. Number 3. Okay. So one thing about, like I said, online dating is social media, right? And a lot of you guys, some of you guys say social media is not for me. I want to keep my life private. You can make social media private, okay? But here's the funny thing. You guys say you want social media private, but yet you give out your numbers to strangers. You give out your phone number to a girl that you just met on the street or just met at the bar. Like, so you're giving out your number, which is actually more important and has a higher chance of like getting your privacy hacked than an Instagram, right? So I'm not telling all of you guys how to be public, all of you to try to be influencers, but it's actually safer to go more the Instagram route and share your Instagram, okay? And for the pictures and the content on Instagram, I'm not asking you to show everything in your life, your bank account, your social security, or even where you live. I'm just saying show them just the best version of yourself. Like just market yourself a little bit, right? Like you tell girls your hobbies, right? So example, when you go meet a girl on the street, you're actually doing the same thing you're going to do with online dating Instagram, right? Or even on a dating app. You have pictures of a dog, you have a picture of your hobbies, blah, blah. You're just doing that in person when you're telling them about it, but on online dating, you're just showing them. It's actually the same thing, but you're just saying, yeah, but I'm doing it in person. Like in person can actually be more tacky. It actually sounds more bragging. But if you actually show it through online dating and Instagram, you're actually showing them, not telling them, which is less tacky and doesn't come off as bragging. So when you say online dating is not for you and in-person dating is for you, that doesn't make sense because you're actually doing the same thing. So just do both, right? Or use online dating like Instagram to help you with your in-person dating, because then you could show her your Instagram and she could like just look at the things you do, not instead of you telling them what to do. Okay. Another thing, right? Online dating, sometimes they say, I don't have time for it, right? I don't have time to swipe. It just takes up too much time. Guys, add up the hours you do when you go out at night, right? So, okay, some of you guys are trying to meet women, maybe going out once a week. First of all, you should not be going out once a week if you want to meet women. This numbers game when it comes time you go approach women. So you actually at least have to go out 3 times a week, okay? So let's say you go out like from 10 p.m. to 2 a.m., right? That's what, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2. That's 5 hours, right? And like I said, you at least go 3 times. That's 15 hours you're going out per week, right? So imagine those 15 hours, right? How does it comply with a online dating? So max online dating, if you have the resources, right? Let's say you just do a boost on each dating app, Tinder, Bumble, whatever. It's 1 hour boost, right? And in a 1 hour boost, it's kind of like you're doing a machine gun approaching multiple girls, right? Because you're basically showing up to the front, whatever. So let's say in 1 hour, you have at least, if you're big city in New York City or LA, there's like at least 100 girls online. And let's say you match with 20 girls, right? Like you're basically doing the same thing. You're approaching 100 girls and 20 of them said they liked you. When you're doing in-person dating, you think you'll approach 100 girls in 5 hours? Do you think you'll even approach 100 girls in 15 hours of night game? I don't think there's even 100 girls you'll be attracted to when it comes to going out, right? So yes, on online dating, some of you guys think like, oh, I'm not matching with, I don't see a lot of beautiful girls, right? But that's because your picture's not attractive. But I'm telling you, if you upgrade your pictures, you're gonna start standing out in more front of the attractive girls, and you're gonna match with more attractive girls. That's the whole point. But the thing that you're saying that I don't have time for online dating, or I don't have time for that, that makes no sense, because you're actually gonna be wasting more time on doing cold approach, right? So, like I said before, do both. Make a combination of both. When you have time, go out and approach women. But when you don't have time, especially during the week work days, right? Monday through Thursday, Monday through Friday, use online dating to at least set up dates, because dating is still a good experience. Okay. And then let's say you say the last one, right? Online dating is not working for me. It just doesn't work for me. I never got beautiful matches. I never done all this. It's because you don't know how to game through online game. So I did say cold approach, meeting women cold, and also online dating. They're kind of the same thing. But that's what I'm saying is you need to learn how to figure out the way to take the skills and all the concepts of cold approach and use it for online dating. Here's a good example. So when you approach a girl on the street, right, you have to have the right vibe. It's not really about the opener, but you kind of have to come with confidence, right? You have to wear the right body language. It's maybe some kind of fashion. Your first impression has to be great, right? So how do you kind of translate that to online dating? Your first impression on your first picture has to be the best, right? So your first picture has the best outfit. You have to be smiling, or you have to look good, or you have to have the best picture, have the best photographer, best editing. So it's kind of the same concept. It's just you're transitioning in a different way through online dating, right? It's the exact same thing, and then you transition in cold approach. You kind of like show them you brag about yourself in a very subtle way. You do cocky, funny, all that stuff. You do that through online dating. You kind of tell a story through your pictures, and you tell about what kind of life you live, how cool you are, and in your bio, you add a couple stuff. It's the same thing. You're just making her more. It's a visual compared to auditory, right? Or the whole body language or vibe. So some of you guys might just be better in person, right? Like you're just saying, I have better game in person, whatever. I know how to girls talk in person. But if you do that and learn how to break that thing of how you do better in person into online dating, and use both, because one thing about online dating is it makes it the reach, the volume so much more higher. You have so much more of a higher volume, right? So you could date women in person, which the volume is always going to be less. You're not going to be able to approach 100 girls in 15 hours, trust me. But then you could do that in a 1 hour boost on a dating app. So when you're saying that online dating is for me, it never works for me. It's just because you don't know how to translate the system of what you're doing in person into online dating. It's the same thing. It's just same, different, right? You just gotta learn how to analyze the game you're doing right now in person and translate it to the online dating. So you're doing the same thing through pictures. Because in the end, it's a means to an end. It's like, what's the whole point of dating, right? Let's just take away in-person dating and online dating. What's the whole summary of dating? Is to have the choice of women you want, date the women you want, eventually have one girl, whatever, but have the love life you truly want, right? That's me saying you just want to date women that you really want, you find attractive, and they like you back. So if that's the end goal, how you get there doesn't matter. Just do both, right? So there's no separation. I'm just saying, like, each one is synergistic. If you get good at in-person dating, that also helps you with online dating, especially when you go on dates, right? You need a little bit of social skills from the in-person dating to be good at online dating. But then online dating, Instagram, texting, all that stuff, that will translate you into in-person dating. It'll make your life easier, right? So it's a synergistic, it's one thing, is there's no separation, guys. So I really want you to hear this, because there is no difference between online dating and, I guess you could say the biggest myth is that online dating is different from uh, in-person dating, but it's not. I think the truth is dating is just one. There's only one dating, and that's about meeting women. And it's not about how or what is the best way to meet women. It's just like, is there a how? Then use all of it, right? Social networking or whatever it is, just meeting women, dating, that's all that's important. And how you meet women, have multiple sources of how to meet women so you could actually have the dating life you want. So I hope this helped, guys. So if you want to implement and how to make if you're currently in person dating and learn how to online date and translate it or use it together, use it synergistically, guys, go below, click, get on a call with one of my teams, right? Because a video is great. You think you could learn this, but it's really hard to explain and learn through a video how to actually translate it, right? So get on a call with one of my team members, and let me see if I could help you, right? Let me see if I could truly help you, because there's a difference between just watching a video and getting this handled. That's why I work with hundreds of clients who come to me because they're like, you know what, you're right. And they all say this once they get their pictures and everything done. They're like, yo, like literally, you're right. Like the pictures help me. The Instagram helps me with my in-person dating, and like we can mitigate the catfishes, right? Like trust me, like there's a way around it. It's just learning about the system. So if you want to learn system, book a call with one of my team members. Let's see if I can help you, and let's get this thing started, man. Like have the dating life you truly want. It's been a pleasure. Captain Daniel out.